Hello, my name is Paul Berserker01, Batman Shelley, and this is the Captain's Table, a podcast about Star Citizen featuring Star Citizen lore, news, and more from people from all over the Star Citizen universe to discuss the game. You can also know me as the Astropub on Twitch and the Astro Historian on YouTube. Check those out. And I haven't been promoting this as much as I would like to, but we also have a podcast version of this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other. And they're kind of backdated now because the last episode was on Valentine's Day, so I had other things to do with my family. So I was busy and I just dropped that. I in fact didn't even do the Q&A until today. I was gonna back behind things. But it should all be updated as of today and tomorrow, so you should be able to check that out. But check that out. Typically I try to get that out right away, usually within 24 hours of the podcast being done, so you can access it on the audio format because people seem to like that. All right. So today we're going to talk about the Alliance Aid event for Star Citizen, specifically for Force 6. And I've got Axis 0096 and HG Vertigo with us. I'm going to start with you, Axis. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
Greetings, I'm Axis 0096, resident bum and skipper on the bill at the Astro Historian's table. Kidding, I'm joking, Paul. I would never. But all joking aside, I'm a frequent person of this podcast.
You just show up a lot, yeah.
I think I'm like fourth highest now, something like that now. After Tomato and some of the bigger guys, I can't remember.
I think Vertigo probably has you beat just on sheer volume because Vertigo has been on this Captain's Table. I think you've been, if not for the not all of 10 years, you've been here for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Like you've been around for a very long time, Vertigo.
Vertigo's been around a long time.
Well, yeah, and on the Captain's Table, he's been here for a lot too. So,
but I'm on multiple channels. In fact, this afternoon I just started the dreaded Instagram account.
Woo!
But that's more for private use, at least for now. You know, it's just getting used to that.
I've talked about doing an Instagram just because it's where apparently all of the people, the older people now hang out. So I'm like, oh, my audience.
Yeah, my brother's overseas in Japan and he's on Instagram.
Oh yeah. I know.
He's what you do. He's a teacher.
The teacher, yeah. Well, Instagram is pretty popular from a lot of circles. Like I've seen a lot of people move away from TikTok towards Instagram.
I would never be on TikTok. Not these days.
No, not these days. No. I had a TikTok for a while and I just never updated it. And I was just like, I didn't really see the purpose. So,
but back to what I was saying, I predominantly do Star Citizen, but I also do some Elite Dangerous. There's a lot of people in a frenzy right now for a new ship coming into the game next week. Funnily enough, the Kestrel Mark II. And you know how we have our issues in Star Citizen with some new features. They are pretty fanged about how they feel about this ship. There's some mighty heated words going. Yeah.
I haven't heard a lot about the Kestrel. Is it like controversial? Dangerous
it's right very fast. It's agile. It's about the size of the Viper, but it has
that's tiny.
Yeah, it's 3 large hard points and 2 mediums. That's like fitting a Anaconda's.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's like fitting an Anaconda into the frame of a Sidewinder and saying, "Go get him, champ."
It's effectively like if you took like the guns on a Connie, or like what's the new one, the Paladin, and you threw it on a Hornet. Take the guns off the Paladin and put it on a Hornet.
Hornet Mark III. One of these days.
That's basically what they did. That in terms of like size value. Jesus, that's a lot of firepower.
It's like a Buccaneer Mark III sticker.
It's like a buck because if it's a Buccaneer, but like a Buccaneer size large hard points are insane. They're like only capital, like near capital class have large.
I mean, it's got like a size 7 kill cannon on it. I mean,
Uh,
I'm sorry to get sidetracked, but I
That's
just had to
fine.
mention
This
that.
is Captain's Table is tradition of sidetracked. I didn't hear about the elite stuff. It's interesting to
Look it
see.
up. It is insanely overpowered, and it's maneuverable. It's not just the hard points.
Is it
It is these
available
Mark
or is
II thrusters that make it almost uncontrollable.
it
It's so
is it
agile.
is it broken pre-engineering?
Oh my god, yeah, it's just
Because
nuts.
it's just nuts without the engineering updates.
People have
Mm.
engineered it all the way up, and they almost want to go into barf mode because
Wow.
it's so uncontrollably fast.
Wow.
They
All right.
actually de-engineered it down to halfway because it was too fast and agile. It's so funny.
Yes.
The salt sultan of Stanton.
Santon.
Yes, Mr. HC Vertigo. Who are you? What do you do in
Yep.
Star Citizen? Where can they find you?
Well, I'm AC Vertigo. We're streaming on Twitch these days. AC Vertigo on Twitch. We're streaming on YouTube as well. We're trying to do more YouTube videos. We're starting a new YouTube series called Star Citizen for Noobs, where we cover some things that players may not know, like cool little quirks, hotkeys, and whatnot for Star Citizen. We got a video coming out today that's scheduled to go up on the YouTube channel that covers why you should bind Freelook to one of your side mouse buttons if you're using the Atlas a lot.
Ooh,
It
yes,
really
yeah.
speeds up.
Yeah.
Really speeds up cargo loading for larger ships. Because you can just hold down the side mouse button and then just flip your mouse left and right to like load your cargo real quickly.
That's a good idea. Actually, I've been thinking about that. Yeah, I've been seeing your videos. You've been posting them on Blue Sky. And you've been posting them on you got Patreon, right? It's like
Got Patreon. We're trying to pimp the Patreon out more.
You should check it out if you haven't. Vertigo, you used to make a bunch of these videos in the past, and you just stopped, and you've been picking it back up again. It's really good. He's really good, especially if you want to learn about Star Citizen. So
YouTube's gotten hard with its algorithm wibble wobble. Some
Yeah.
things go and some things don't.
a lot of it is just consistency. It's that's what I've discovered is just a matter of finding good consistency and just doing it and continuing to do it until you find either something clicks or it works. And if you're a noob in Star Citizen, or even if you just are out of practice, like I didn't know about that ATLS thing, and I consider myself an ATLS like expert.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't think about binding the free look to something so I could. Because right now I'm just hitting Z and then doing back and forth rather than just one hand.
Yeah, you don't, because it takes a while for the Atlas to turn.
Mhm.
And so what you could do is you could just put the Atlas, face it between, like, perpendicular to where you're loading and unloading, and then you can just hold down the free look button to look left, grab a box, look right, set it down, and then immediately while the box is in motion, look
let
back
go.
to where you're
Yeah.
looking, back where your load is. Pick up, wait for the load to drop off, and then it releases your tractor beam immediately. Grab another box, and then go to the right, drop it, throw it right. It's really fast.
All right. That reminds me, I gotta get back into my review of all the ships of Star Citizen. I've only done 3. All right, check that out. Make sure it's on YouTube, right? Is it HC Vertigo on YouTube?
Yes, AC Vertigo on YouTube, AC Vertigo on Blue Sky, AC Vertigo on Instagram, AC Vertigo everywhere.
Nice. All right. So today we're going to talk a little bit more of a topical topic. In the past month or so, we've been doing like, what is this thing in Star Citizen going to look like in 2026?
Mhm.
And I wanted today to talk more about the current happenings in Star Citizen, because I kind of feel like this current event is sort of quiet. I haven't seen a lot of noise about it. I think it's because a lot of people finished it really quickly.
Yeah.
Generally,
I think a lot of big groups got together with it. Don't you agree too, Vertigo? A lot of big groups got together. Even people in the servers got together and got it
It's
done.
CIG did this wonderful thing where because normally how this stuff works, we have to go back and talk about how this previously worked. Normally, when you joined a group, a squad, a group, or something, and you went and did a mission, you had 2 payouts. You had a reputation payout, and you had a
Money
credit
payout.
payout. Yeah, and it evenly divided those 2 payouts between the entire group. So if you had 2 people, it would have it. If you had 5 people, it would divide it by 5. So the larger the group you had, the less progress each individual member made towards reputation and money, which really didn't feel very good to multi-crew and like work up and crew up with people. You basically are just hanging out with people because you want to hang out with them. So the recent event, what CIG did is the credit payout is the same. It divides by the number of people in the group, but the reputation reward for progress towards completion of the entire event, everybody gets the same number. So if one person completes an event and gets 250 points towards completion, when you join a group of 500 people, everybody gets 250 points for one person turning in one mission, if he shares with the entire group.
Yep.
So that's why a lot of people are grouping up now, working together in large groups, because you can have people doing the cargo event. You can have people doing the combat missions, and you can have people doing the collection missions, and everybody's sharing missions with each other, and everybody's making the same amount of progress, the same good progress on all the tracks. I don't know if CIG is going to keep it that way in the future, because I don't know, a lot of people, you're not multi-crewing, but you are grouping up and you're socializing, you're adding people to your friends list. So it's kind of encourages like MMO social stuff, which is good in our MMO, Paul.
Yeah,
I would guess.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it a little bit in a moment. Let me kind of go over the basics, because it's a good point, and we'll get into that. And I think that is a reason why so many people are kind of focusing or like aren't talking about it as much, because of that nature. A lot of people just finished it because you could just group up, because it encouraged people to work together, which is good. But the event itself, for those of you who don't know, is effectively a mold has gotten into the air filters on Levski, and a group called the like a non-profit NGO is working to solve the this mold crisis, because it's killing people in Levski and it's spreading to Stanton. And so called Alliance Aid, and the Alliance Aid group is working with the People's Alliance. They're working with the People's Alliance. They're also working with the Citizens for Prosperity, and so there are different missions you can do. Some of them are just delivery missions, or like cures, or you can even like grab dead people.
Well, there's people frozen in cryopods. You can deliver to medical facilities.
People frozen and dead people frozen, and so you can deliver some folks to facilities who are like for treatment, and some folks who for study, so they can figure out what's wrong with them. They have cures, they have medical supplies you can pick up. Plus, there's like the first time they've done delivery, where like they actually have delivery where you can like go buy ice and then use that as towards your supplement. And there are three different things. It's like combat, delivery, and cargo. And those three you can each gain reputation in. And if you max out all three, you get rewards for all three. And there's also a main one where you have to get like
30,000.
30,000 is that?
Yeah, so it's 10,000 for each. There's like three different tracks you can complete, which have individual rewards, and there's a global track, which is all three tracks combined, and it's 10,000 for each individual track, and then the major track, the global track, is like 30,000.
Yeah, and you can go above your own tracks if you just do cargo. You can do the general track up. You can do 3,000. Or 30,000
for just cargo deliveries, or collection or combat if you want to. You can avoid the three sub tracks or just focus on one.
Yeah, but you won't get any of the sub tracks that have their own rewards.
Yeah.
So
I do appreciate those choices, because like the rigidity of the older missions, like me and Vertigo were talking about it earlier, the previous mission, Fight for Stanton, how it was almost far more rigid, between the four factions, right, that we were doing.
Yeah, because one of them was secretly
Stanton, Microtech, ArcCorp, and
Hurston. Yeah,
Hurston. The similar one with the cargo deliveries.
Yeah, it was Hurston, ArcCorp, Crusader, and
Race for Stanton.
Race for Stanton. Yep. Thank you. It wasn't much of a race. It was a snail's pace, because it was
the drag for Stanton.
Yeah, the drag for Stanton. The problem with it was the CIG released the patch. It was working fine on the PTU, and the patch went live, and then most of the missions broke, so they didn't show up in the Mobi-Glass. So the only way to make any progress was to go down to the outposts on the moons, and those elevators didn't work over 80% of the time. So you had to keep flipping servers and going down to elevators that maybe worked to get the cargo, and then you had to deliver the cargo to like Seraphim Station or Hurston or whatever, and you're just constantly fighting broken elevators. That's why it was the drag for Stanton. And then CIG eventually we got some hot fixes out that fixed the elevators a little bit, and they managed to get the other missions working. I completed the race for Stanton in my Polaris by myself, by accepting because they had a wild card mission. They eventually patched this, by the way, after I completed everything. So you had like tracks for progress tracks for each of the megacorps: Microtech, ArcCorp, Hurston, and Crusader. And I can't remember how much progress you needed for all one. Doesn't matter, but it was a grind to get all 4 of them done. I got all 4 of them done. What you could do is you could either go down and load up cargo at the facilities, basically just do a cargo run. You pick up cargo, load your ship up, and deliver it to like Port Tressler or Seraphim Station or something like that. And you drop it off, you get progress. Or you can go out and mine, or you can go out and buy. I don't think you could buy any of the goods necessary. I think you couldn't do that. You could go out and mine this stuff if you wanted to. Or they had combat missions where ships were under attack or ships had been disabled by pirates. And you can either go help the ships who are under attack and shoo away the attackers, and those ships go into quantum and you get progress towards that megacorp. Or you can go out to the disabled ship. What I ended up doing, I went out to the disabled ships and I stole the cargo out of the disabled ships, and I did that for all 4 megacorps because each megacorps had their own version of the missions.
Yeah.
So what you do is you accept all 4 megacorps version of the ship's been disabled. You steal the cargo from that mission into a Polaris, and then you go to like one megacorp and you drop all that cargo off using the wild card mission, and you make a hilarious amount of progress all at once.
Awesome.
They changed that.
What did you end up getting as a result?
Oh, there was some like, there was like an armor set for each megacorp. And paints for like paints for a bunch of ships.
I mean, I did the ArcCorp mission. I didn't do all of them. I just did the ArcCorp one. I did like a little bit on some of them, so I got like some stuff from Microtech. But
I did Hurston and Microtech.
Yeah.
So
everyone did Hurston one. So
Hurston one. Yeah, there was like you ever got 5% discount on the Hurston shops as well.
So, Vertigo, I'll ask you this because we've already jumped into it. But what are some of the good things that have come out of Alliance 8? I mean, you've already kind of mentioned that like it's better than the race for Stanton. So
it's better than the race for Stanton because there's definitely multiple ways to complete it, and we're definitely seeing a lot more actual MMO behavior from the player base in terms of like, hey, anybody running a group to complete the missions? I want to join that group. We're starting to see people desiring to group up instead of playing by themselves
because it becomes a meta.
Yeah, it's an actual meta. It's encouraged. People want to complete the missions, so they want to group up to complete the missions faster, and they want to play together. They want to be in each other's ships. That's good. I couldn't buy any of the goods. Like there was like some of the goods for the Alliance Aid was like Laranite, Bexelite. You had to turn in for like making like filters and whatnot in various places. Actually, it was just like Hurston and Microtech needed various supplies. Hurston needed like a lot of the more industrial supplies, Laranite and Boras or something. Bexelite, Pressurized went to Microtech. But I couldn't buy any Laranite. There's only 4 places in Stanton. There's only 4 places in the game that sell Laranite, and there's 2 next to ArcCorp and there's 2 next to Hurston. All of them are sold out. You can't buy Boras anywhere. Bexelite, there's like 6 places you could buy in the entirety of Star Citizen. 4 on Hurston, 2 in Pyro. Pyro's a long distance, and all these places are almost always out of stock because people are rushing to them. Pressurized, there's a couple places, like 3 places you can buy. There's 2 in Stanton, 1 in Pyro.
And something I can't remember.
Yeah. So what I ended up doing some of the collection stuff was just mining. So I was like, I have a golem I haven't touched, and I haven't done mining in such a long time. So I actually decided to do some mining with another person, and we got some experience with mining, and I realized that CIG really messed up the numbers when they changed the mining stuff, but we're going to have another change to refining coming up here this year with
Mhm.
crafting. We're
It's
gonna
in
have
the
different grades.
that's in the testing right now. It's in the Evocati
Yeah.
right now. So
Yeah.
that
We
includes
talked about it on the last Star Citizen Live as well.
yeah.
Seeing.
Any other benefits? Any things that, like positives you want to say about it?
So yeah, we started seeing more grouping play, which is great. Like people just grouping up, public dropping, drop pickup groups and whatnot. That's amazing in Star Citizen instead of people just playing by themselves and ignoring everyone else. We really need like I can't say enough good things about the community, about the actual people playing the game, wanting to like be socialized with each other. You should have that in an MMO, right? People that
Mhm.
want to play with each other, who want to be in each other's ships and whatnot, because they want to get stuff done.
They were also moving in a lot of the newer players, involving them in these missions, as kind of an initiation rite, which I think that's
Yeah.
a good sign.
It gives them something
You
to
know?
do.
Yeah. Instead of just thumbing it and being like, okay, what do I do?
I think it also adds to the fact that people feel like they're doing something for a greater cause. I think CIG is still lacking a little bit of that impetus, like a reason to do it beyond just the meta for it. There's got to be some sort of combination of I want to do this for a reward, and I'm doing this for the narrative. And I think what's lacking is there's no consequences for failing. There's no global like line, which I think would have been cool to add a global line to be like, this is how many we need to do to guarantee that the Melina mold is cured. Probably because they knew that we would smash that line, but that sort of thing would be helpful. I think that would be like the global line go up, or bar get fill in is always a good thing. So
the biggest positive, though, I can say,
go ahead, Dex, you're up anyway. So
sorry,
you're positive.
is we are, as a result of this, we're also, because of the 30K limit being hit, those of us that did, we get a fabricator permanently locked to our accounts. And as we all know, because of the Evocati tests, that may be coming very, very soon. And that's going to become very important going forward. In fact, I'm wondering if this event and Race for Stanton may have been a setup for future missions involving that machine, because you have to go out, source materials, from the furthest reaches of God knows where, right? Possibly for a client, and produce something. And yes, I am kind of going on a fourth limb here, but it's not too hard to see them putting together a mission with a fabricator, and you have to produce it for a manufacturer like Hurston Dynamics or somebody.
Yeah. I would say the positives in general of this one was that there's a lot of variety. There was just more things to do. You weren't forced down a single path. You could do so many different ones. You could do the same path over and over and over again to do the global rewards as well as your own. Because I can't tell you how many times I've received like things from like Luminalia where I'm like, I don't have this ship. Why do I have this skin? I don't own any of these things. I have no desire for any of these things. I thank you, I guess. I got a free thing that I don't use, and my hangar is filled with my inventory is filled with this clutter. So it was nice to be able to be like, I'm not a combat player. Why do I need this? They're like, I'm not a hauler player. Why do I need this? So it lets you focus on the gameplay the style you do, but also get the larger rewards, which were all nice, especially if you had like for ships and equipment and stuff like that. So
that is a negative.
Well, we'll go for the negative next. Axis, what are your negatives about it?
Not being able to gift things that you don't own, like skins for ships you don't have. This is my biggest gripe with these events so far.
Okay.
If you say, and me and you, Paul, are content creators, and we occasionally do giveaways. So say we had wanted to give some of this stuff away to, say, some of our viewers, right? Vertigo as well. This kind of hinders that availability, or even just friends or org mates. So yeah. it kind of dampens the fun, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, I'm getting Apollo skins for completing everything. And it's just like I have no desire to own an Apollo. Like I don't own one. Probably never gonna own one. It's just like, all right, now I just have these in my account.
I
I
have
don't know
them.
what I'm gonna do with them. I mean, if I could take these, oh god, I'm gonna trigger the community by saying this. If I could take these Apollo skins and apply them to the Hermes, maybe I'll own a Hermes one of these days.
Oh
But
god, I mean, that's a completely different conversation. So let me turn on the actual question bot. I'm sure someone will ask that question in chat here in a moment. Because that's I got thoughts, I got feelings,
thoughts about that.
I got things to say about about that.
Is the fuse burning?
Yes, definitely.
What am I? Uh-oh.
Question bot. Here we go.
I blinked for some reason.
There we go. I have everything started. Everything's working. Perfect. So you can ask questions now if you want to ask that question. Is there any other negatives, Vertigo? Because Axis told his negatives.
Yeah.
What's the negatives?
I mean, like if we want to talk about like the other side, like we're talking mostly about PvE stuff
Mhm.
and like completing that. But if you want to talk about like the PvP side of this, the piracy side of this, which I've seen brought up, is the contracted cargo. You can't sell it. You can't do anything piracy wise with it. It's not worth anything. The Molina mold samples, the medical supplies, your shipping, the frozen sick people, the frozen dead people. If you interdict somebody carrying all this stuff, like it's worthless to you. So that's one of the negatives I can think of for this. Also, a lot of the hauling stuff is really repetitive, especially the ones that require you to haul like 2 SU there is one special one that gives you a whole bunch. After doing some of the missions for a while, you unlock a certain special mission you can do once. Like there's 3 different special missions. There's like a combat one, there's a hauling one, and there's a collection one. The hauling one required me to take like a whole bunch of medicine and like filters to Levski, but I had to go from Microtech to Hurston and then to Levski, which was a pain in the ass. But it gives you like a 1,000, like 1,200 points out of 10,000. So it's a pretty good bump in like progress solo. But it was such a gigantic pain in the butt to unload the 1x2 SU containers. It was like 56 SCU. It was like 56 SCU, like two chunks of 56 SCU. It was like 112 SCU in 1x2 containers. And I was using the Hermes, which has a pretty good tractor beam for like picking stuff up and sending it down. But there's so much. I wrote an auto hotkey script for my tractor beams that turns all my tractor beams into the Atlas tractor beam. All my ship tractor beams, all my FPS tractor beams. I basically pull out my tractor beam, lock onto a box. I press X on my keyboard. It comes right to my face. Turn around, press Z on my keyboard. It squirts it out, and I just let go. That's how I completed. And I still hated doing that mission, even with the auto hotkey script I had wrote. I still hated doing it. And they talked about this on the last Star Citizen Live, where we need to be able to choose which box our commodities come in.
Yeah.
It is just it's just I can't do another one of these goddamn hauling events, Paul.
Without some sort of changes, you know.
Yeah, it's driving me crazy. I have a Herc C2, and like I just can't imagine putting a whole bunch of like 4 SU boxes in that fucking thing again. Like it's just too much.
So someone's saying salt, but like people have you pull out any 4 SU box, people are gonna have PTSD. Anyone who was at the race for standard will just sit there and be like 1,000-yard stare. Like I was there, man. You don't understand how many of these fucking boxes I've moved.
Before CIG fixed the missions, how we were doing progress on the race for Stanton was it would bring up a whole bunch of 4 SU boxes, and I had another buddy helping me out, Galactic Command, and we'd have 2 Atlases on either side of the ramp of the C2 Herc, and we'd grab the boxes, and there's a way to actually throw boxes using the Atlas. You grab a box, you aim it at where you wanted to throw it, and then you press
Check
and
it.
hold right click, and it
Yeah.
charges up, and then you can release the right click, and it throws the box. As long as the outline is either green or red on your screen. If it's blue, it's going to latch. But you can just, what we did was we just put 2 Atlases on either side of the cargo elevator by the bottom of the ramp of the C2, and we just throw boxes into the C2 with the front ramp closed, and then we flew back to where it was dropping it off, open up the front ramp, and just the boxes just spill out the front because we just packed it full tight with all the mission cargo. Even with that, even with really sloppy unloading and loading, it still was too much. Like,
Yeah, those 4 SU boxes nearly made me want to
yeah,
get a head shrink after Race for Stanton.
really, we
Thank
need to be able
God.
to choose
Yes.
the size of the boxes that come out of the freight elevator.
Which I'm glad they mentioned that in Star Citizen Live. It sounded like something that's soon-ish rather than something that's like far away.
I hope so.
I hope it's before the next event, one of these events. Any other negatives?
Yeah, this was not nearly as good as Stormageddon or Hathor or the ASD Onyx facilities. And
In what way?
well, it's just it's not nearly as impressive, right?
Okay. Yeah. It's
going
it's
through
the race for Stanton. But
yeah, it's the
different.
race for Stanton too, Electric Boogaloo, right?
Yeah.
I said this before on my stream back when the Onyx missions had been released, that CIG was going to have a hell of a time topping this for their next event. I figured they wouldn't be able to because the Onyx facilities are amazing. They're honestly still worth going down to and just experiencing for like the first or second or 10th
I wish they
time.
would
I have
expand
my
them
problem.
further.
I have a problem with them, but it's mostly that the Onyx missions themselves end with a whimper. Site B just sort of fizzles out at the end. Like there should have been a boss battle at the end, and it just didn't happen.
I know, it was just like you have this Vanduul like just bolted to a table, and it just kind of shoots lights at it, and it's just like, that's it? Okay.
Yeah. That's it. It's like there's no risk or anything like that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. If they do an expansion to these facilities, say you fall through a trap door in Site B and you find a live Vanduul in a cage and you have to fight it.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Something. Give us something other than that weak ending. Like,
well, the problem is like Vanduul, from what I saw in the Squadron 42 teaser a couple of years ago, like the Vanduul aren't exactly going to be like really difficult to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So you could kill him with a P8 SC. So you'll just the door will open, a Vanduul will pop out, you gun him. Was that something? Was that it? What was that? Yeah, was that it?
You could have easily had like waves of them though. You could have had like.
Well, the Euromandi fight. The Euromandi fight was probably a good capper for like the Hyperion one. But the problem with that,
if the Euromandi was the end before the end of the thing where you had to fight the Euromandi at the end, that would have been a good boss fight because you had to fight the Euromandi to get to the end.
Yes.
That would have been
okay. So here's the problem though. Like the Hyperion site is going through the main facility and going through Site B is such a slog that if you ended up with like a Euromandi fight at the very end, like that run back to that boss fight would have, and we talked about this today. Like what happened to Death of a Spaceman Vertigo? CIG looked at their daily active user count and they realized that hardcore mechanics were costing them players, so they rolled back on all the really hard stuff.
I think they just haven't implemented the hard stuff yet. That's the thing. But,
well, so they're putting medical beds in everything now.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely making it easier.
They nerfed injuries to make them less impactful. Tier 3 injuries are basically ignorable now. Like you don't have to worry if you get a tier 3 injury. They allowed respawns at all tier 3 med beds, and you get to keep whatever you have equipped to your character when you die and respawn. So CIG, I don't know what the heck's going to go on with the future here, right? But CIG has definitely made Star Citizen a lot more casual. Like going off what Chris Roberts said years ago with Death of a Spaceman and like Dark Souls and Demon Souls, and how Star Citizen was going to be different. It was going to be hard and difficult, and you have to earn your progress versus what we have today. I don't know. Like, I don't think we're going to have. I'd like the Euromandi as an optional boss fight at the end of Hyperion, where you can complete Hyperion and get the mission objective, and then you also have the option to go fight the Euromandi if you want to. Like, you can come back down to fight the Euromandi, or you can complete the Hyperion one. Site B. Because if you had to go through all of that, even with me, who I'm pretty good, and I was having a group with me most of the time, even with that, fighting the Ormandi at the very end would be just a really huge kick in the balls if you failed that fight.
Yeah.
And having to make that run back all the way back to the Ormandi fight to get those containers, that the recombinant, so you can get that shiny armor set from Wicklow. That was not worth it. I got that shiny suit from Wicklow, and it was not worth the grind. It was, oh my god, it hurt.
So you're saying
It
like the
made the-
rewards are also a problem because even
Yes.
ASD, which was the probably the gold standard for CH events, still kind of fell down.
Yeah.
Even with the Site B added, it feels like the ASD is still like incomplete almost
hmm
to me. Like you could add I don't want to dwell too long on it because
we're talking about something completely different from what we're supposed to be talking
Well,
about right
I
now.
think it's a good connection because we're going to talk a little bit about what CIG should do in the future, and I think using this as a reference point for that discussion is good. That's the reason why I'm like,
yeah,
let's
like
keep
what?
doing it.
Okay, what rewards should we have? Right? There's a good question. Like
a
we
good
go
question.
back and look at ASD, we look at Stormbringer, right?
Mhm.
With the Apex Valakar, and I point out at ASD, and this is something I've brought up multiple times, or at least I've mentioned as a theme, is that sometimes the experience of going through a good, well-designed level, a well-designed boss fight, is a reward unto itself, or part of a reward, right? You still expect a little bit more coming out of like the Apex Valakar fight than just the experience of the fight, but sometimes it's just cool to go in and experience the fight for the first time, right?
right.
That can be a reward into itself. But players do, gamers, we do expect that if we kill a large creature, that it's going to drop something that
Or at least
is
be
gonna be
guarding
useful.
something.
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
guarding a loot room. Like
Mhm.
for
Classic
my
Bethesda
example, there could
dungeon.
be a storage room guarded by, say, a Vandul human hybrid or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem with having like loot rooms, and I think Blizzard had problems with this with World of Warcraft, is that people were leg switching past all the enemies and just getting to the chest at the end of the dungeons, and Blizzard couldn't figure out how to stop that. And Star Citizens, we've had this problem too, where people glitch through the level to just get access. I mean, like, and I'm going to say this on the podcast because I've said this before. Star Citizen is either an alpha or it's not.
Yeah.
Star Citizen is an alpha. We see this like Schrodinger's alpha, right? Where when something goes wrong and the player base gets screwed over, like you fall through the planet, you get killed, your ship gets eaten up by the purple
It's an
bug.
alpha.
I had that recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The purple
and
bug?
the purple bug, where I watched a ship turn purple in front of me and just
Yeah.
get destroyed, and I had to claim insurance on it. That sucked. When you go to Spectrum, you go to Reddit, you go to Twitter, you go to Blue Sky, you go to Discord, and you start complaining about this stuff to people. Like, oh man, I had a terrible gameplay session, fell through the planet, lost my ship, had to claim insurance, lost a whole bunch of progress. Star Citizen, I don't think it's for me. And you start getting people telling you, well, it's an alpha, right? Oh, it's an alpha, now it's alpha, right? But when you have people who are using bugs, glitches, and exploits to get through a level, right? Because the doors they don't accept the key card and whatnot. People are complaining like, "Oh, the loot room's empty because someone glitched through the loot room door. They just couldn't be arsed to." Suddenly, Star Citizen's not an alpha anymore. Suddenly, Star Citizen's a game, and we all have to like. And everybody's like, "Oh, there's all these exploits with money and UEC, and people have billions. Oh, the economy's ruined." And it's like, to me, it's like Star Citizen and alpha. There is no economy.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can't buy anything off UEX because people they're asking for billions of credits. Well, then barter.
Yeah.
Go out, play the game, earn some valuable rewards like some Ace Interceptor helmets, some pristine metals, some Wicklow favors. Go out, grind the ASD armor or something. I don't have time for that. You're playing a fucking MMO. What did you expect? There's going to be grind, whether you liked it or not. You're going to have to go out and play and earn some, just like World of Warcraft. You wanted best in slot for like your paladin or something, you're going to have to do some mythic raids, and you're going to have to prep for those raids, and you're going to be locked down for a little while. You're going to have to carve out a chunk of your day to earn that reward, and it's going to be not guaranteed either because there's a drop rate. So
I'll push back a little bit on this, but I do want to hear your thoughts on this one as well, which is Star Citizen is an alpha, and it is also reaching towards
Paul
1.0.
can't hear you.
Oh, am I muted? Can you not hear me?
I can hear him. I can hear Paul.
That's
I-
weird. I can't hear him at all.
Did you accidentally mute him, Axis, by
Check.
right-clicking on the Discord thingy and click mute on Paul?
That's weird.
Can you not hear
Thanks.
Vertigo either? We can hear, yeah. Because I can hear you.
Huh.
Try
The
connect.
lovely
Can you
Try
hear me now?
reconnecting. Yeah, A Corp says he can hear everybody.
Yeah,
That's weird. I can hear you guys, but
I can hear you too. So we're good now.
that's weird.
Cool, we're good. So I'll push back a little bit and say, we know that Star Citizen Alpha, but we also know CIG is shooting for a 1.0. Like, so everything's being developed in that 1.0 mindset. So the question I have for you is, what would CIG need to do in order to make it valuable for somebody doing an MMO sort of experience? That I got to go do it through. What was the first dungeon in WoW called? I always forget the name of it.
I can't.
Yeah, that first dungeon in WoW. Someone in chat will say it. The like that very first dungeon, like, how do you have that experience in Star Citizen that is meaningful, that makes people want to go over and do it again and again and again and again?
I mean, they already have that with the ASD facility. I think the ASD facilities is like CIG's first really well done dungeon.
But here's the question: is the reward at the end worth it? You just
a-
said that the
a
Ormandi
set
was
of-
not worth it.
Well, the Ormandi fight, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ormandi fight, like the experience. Okay, so I already said the experience is sometimes part of the reward, right?
True.
Just going through and seeing the ASD levels, fighting through the enemies, and just
Yeah,
experiencing
but does
the
it
dungeon.
hold up? Does that hold up, like, repeated going through over? And
Not
over
really.
and over
No, it doesn't. After a certain number of times, like you're not going to want to go through there. And the Geist armor that drops from that is honestly ugly in my opinion, but some people liked it. I still see people wearing it from time to time. You get the baklava and the cape and the scarf. Some people like that, but I mean, like, a lot of that comes down to actually like drops, like what equipment can CIG give. And one thing that the AS facility did give you was like and this happened with Hathor, and this also happened with Stormbringer, where Hathor had, I'm trying to remember which was given where, but the Volt series. That's how CIG rolled out the Volt series of weapons,
Mhm.
where Hathor came first and got the Parallax rifle, I believe, the electric assault rifle, I believe, and then Stormbringer was next, and we got the electric shotgun or the laser shotgun, the Volt laser shotgun, and then Hathor came out and we got the Zenith laser sniper rifle, and then we got the electric light machine gun
Mhm.
with Sight
For
B.
Site B for Hyperion.
Yeah, the Hyperion. And that's a pretty cool way to roll out those. Like, the only way to find that LMG, the Fresnel LMG, is you have to go through Site B, and it
Mhm.
spawns somewhere in Site B. You have to pick it up off, and there's a whole bunch of different paints and schemes and whatnot that spawn in there too, and that's a reward as well. Like, I mean, I didn't really care for those guns, but I know some people did. So that's if you would, but that's like you. With the way the death system works in Star Citizen, like, you get one copy of a gun and you're good to go for the rest of your time.
For now, at least.
That
Might change in the future, but to add on to that question, then how would you change the Alliance Aid rewards to make them, like, valuable? Because, like, as we just talked about, like, a bunch of skins for ships we don't have.
Yeah, I would
Like-
rather CIG like. God, I hate saying it. I really do.
Do it. Let's get the spice. Let's get the spice. Immediate salt.
So I'm okay. So I'm remembering of a system back in Battlefield 4,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure almost nobody remembers this system because Battlefield 4 was like over 15 years ago. But Battlefield 4, I'm almost going to throw up in my mouth a little bit saying this. Battlefield 4 had loot crates that would drop as you played, and opening each crate would give you a random roll to unlock attachments for guns or maybe even new guns. And you also had like things you can do in game to earn new guns. But in order to get attachments, instead of like making progress, you'd have Battlefield 3 had like an experience track, and you just like
Yeah.
unlock attachments for the guns as you used it. But Battlefield 4, your attachments were random, and it was really obnoxious to unlock stuff. But they also had the ability to buy like the entire group of guns and all the attachment from like the Origin store or something. And I hate to say it, this is kind of a gotcha mechanic, but it is a legit mechanic that's used in other games where CIG could just give you a certain number of loot crates for completing a progress track, and you can open those and you get random rewards that you can either like new skins can pop up, like, oh, you got a legendary reward. Here's a good skin for a ship you don't own, or here's like something you can use to craft or a blueprint, a piece of a blueprint or something. Get 5 more of these, and you got a blueprint for a skin you could craft for a ship you maybe own.
I'm going to again push back because I fucking hate loot crates, and I think
I know it is. You asked me what I think could be done,
but I do think that you're on the right track. Because CIG already has something that they could have used for this, which is script. Script's in the game. It's a reward, and all they have to do is add a script shop that isn't Wicklow, where you can go turn in script for something of value. And maybe during the event, you have specific things you can get with that script, so people who can maybe you need like a special token that you can. Well,
CIG was going to do that with script. They were going to, when Stormbringer was added, or no, was it? I think it was actually Hathor. CIG, because the script was the council script was added last year around Intergalactic Aerospace Expo.
Yeah,
and because I remember you could find the script just lying around the expo, but you couldn't use it for anything. You could just pick it up and look at it. CIG was going to have seasonal resources. You'd have an event come out, and you have a resource associated with that event, and then that resource would get depreciated.
Yes.
And then you have a new event come out, and you'd have new resources that would be used for Wicklow, and Wicklow would constantly be moving, have a rolling stock of what he would offer for certain resources. Yeah. And everybody hated that. They were like, we have all this scripts, CIG. We need more time to turn it in.
Yeah. I still have script that's hanging around.
I'm gonna make
so I too. I need to turn it in for Wicklow favors.
But that's my point. Like you could easily take script as it because it's already sort of an alternative currency, and use it with maybe even like a token where you by completing this event you get like an event. You get a token, an event token. And you can go to certain factions and then
stores and spend the token.
Spend the token with a script, because you can earn script and then you get the token. You can use that to get. Because
I love. They already have physicalized coins we collect, collectible coins for
coins.
The Lunar New Year happening right now. Right now, you can go to the website, you click on a button, you get a Lunar New Year rat coin.
Yeah. So
I think that's not a terrible idea.
So, but it's the same idea because you can also maybe have like a randomizer where you're like, I don't know what I want. You can just like for a cheaper script with one coin,
or you can just sell the coin. Yeah. Right. If you don't know what you want, you can trade it for something.
Yeah. So
I'd be okay with blueprints. Like a random blueprint that's actually useful, not like something. Something that's not like. What would be a useful blueprint that you could use? Like if you're in base building, what would be something you could put
maybe more
that's common?
A more advanced. We could also do some like more advanced stuff. Like you could have like a tier 2 or tier 1 blueprint you could do for the event. So it's like, instead of having a tier 1 blueprint for this P4, you can now have access with this special token to a tier 2 P4 blueprint. So now you can just go do the event and now you have access to a more advanced token, more advanced blueprint. Maybe it's a one-time use. Maybe it's a little bit different from what you can use before because they've talked about how they can make them sort of like one-time use and they can connect them to the player. So it's like you turn this token and you get the blueprint, but it's a physical blueprint. You die when you have it in your hands. It's gone, kind of thing. So they could do stuff like that.
I think they're testing a system like that in Evo. I can't confirm. But they're testing some sort of reward system for the crafting where you earn through a mission chain.
Yes, you earn blueprints through mission chains.
Yeah. I can't and it's like the start of that. Yeah. So I'm glad to see that making a transition. into it. More than just ship skins, and the like. Stuff that's useful.
Someone's saying they said the blueprints won't be physical though, right? And that they'd be digital. Players can lose them. Can't lose them. Some of them are attached to your character. Others are going to be one time. They'll have different.
So yeah,
versions
it'll
of
be
it.
consumable
be
blueprints.
consumable.
I can imagine CIG would make CIG. Chris Roberts loved physicalized everything, so I can
Yes.
imagine some blueprints will be like on a printed circuit board or something,
Yeah.
a hard drive that could be lost, destroyed, or be stolen.
Mm-hmm. Unless you put it in a mainframe or something, and even then that could be destroyed.
Or rated or whatever. So, Axis, same question for you. Like, what would you improve? How would you improve future events like Alliance Aid? We talked a little bit about like rewards. Is it just rewards? Is there anything else you could change?
Maybe
change?
depending on the length, it's taking the player base to get done. Like in this event, we had an instance where, as an incentive, they actually added to the loot pool something. I think that's the first time they've ever done that. You guys can confirm either way.
What do you mean
But
by
have they
added to the
ever
loot pool?
actually added stuff?
What do you mean by
before?
added?
They added a red tractor beam, a Alliance Aid tractor beam to the armor set.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, just got recently added. They updated it. Kind of got
Oh.
just extra free stuff. Got a cool red tractor beam with your cool red armor to match.
And I like that, but okay, I see that as kind of an incentive in the event that they're not getting player participation. At least add something extra to keep motivation. See, that motivates the player base to keep going if you keep adding stuff.
Mhm.
But at least add to the event, maybe another like special mission attached to it. Wait, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Okay. I like some other things you can pick up. My concern about these events going forward is that they're all very handcrafted by CIG,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I feel like it's going to take a lot of work for them to continue to do it by handcrafting. And so I'd love to see them in the future make it more sandbox. Like
Yeah.
this sort of event I can see being done in the future. They've talked about doing stuff like this where like an outbreak happens, you have to go help out this group. That's literally what this is. It's that event that they've talked about for 10 years of an outbreak happening, you have to go send medical supplies.
Mhm.
But they wanted to make it more dynamic. And I feel like what they could be doing instead of doing these sorts of lines where you can fill out physical rewards, this is all nice, but like it should be, we need this many of this many of this many of this, deliver it to this location. That would mean that players could mine, they could salvage, they could buy. And I think when in the future, when you have crafting, you could craft and then go to deliver those goods to add to the pool. And by participating, either maybe having your own line of how much participation you need, or by some personal metric, or by like a global metric, like everyone who completed one of these missions and the global got reached in a certain amount of time, you'd get rewards. Maybe you have time rewards where you complete it within the first day. If the community completes it in the first day, they get this reward. Like these rewards. If they don't do it as much, maybe they don't get as many rewards. So sort of like a
Time special or something.
a time special or some other things for it. So less of a CIG just does the same event and changes the UI a little bit, like they did. This is like we said. This is Race for Stanton. This is the same thing, only slightly modified. Instead of just modifying the same thing, make it more of something you can repeat, but it's going to be more unique because you don't know where it's going to happen, and it's more based off of the player participation rather than just.
Well, they had that idea for what was it? Ninetales Lockdown. It was supposed to be like this event that could just move around. Lockdown. They could click on a station in their little map editor and check the box for Ninetales Lockdown and Ninetales. It had different phases that would spool up, and they have an idea for it. But obviously, they're spending a lot of time working on Squadron 42 these days, and they're a bit distracted.
I'm just thinking more of a how can they do this reliably in the future without having to make a big event with it, so that you can have more of this. Oh, this is suddenly an interesting thing that can happen, but it doesn't require them to like
Mhm.
make a new patch for it. They can just like update the game with a little bit like, oh yeah, now it's the back end now says this, and you just have a new mission that spawns. And it's like,
So like an alert patch or something.
yeah, I mean, like look what they did with the recent one where they had like a not really a patch, but sort of just unlocked things. It was sort of like a small change, so a small update, but not a full.
That may have been a
patch.
test for it, but it may be a while till they get to it. But we'll have to see. Like you
Well,
said,
I mean, the idea that I just had requires crafting, so minimum this would
Yeah.
require 4.7, if not beyond that. I just don't think that this sort of level of well, first of all, I do think that this level is lazy. What they're doing
Mhm.
right now is very lazy. It's a whole like what we have, we're gonna do what we have to keep engagement. This is all about engagement bait because there's not really a lot of storytelling going on. There is if you
did
look
we
at the
ever?
atmospheric.
Did we, Paul? Did we ever wrap up like the respawn crisis?
Technically, yes.
I mean, did we ever
Jo-
solve that issue?
Yeah, Jort solved the issue. Jort solved the
Okay.
issue with unethical means, and then Hurston gave them all the materials so that they could solve the problem. And that's a problem with strategy storytelling. It's like there's just no conclusion. We don't fucking know. This is just
Yeah, I
based
don't-
off of what they're talking about. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't know. Is it still happening? Like, did we
Yeah.
solve it? Like, we're not talking about it anymore.
I
The
may
NPCs are still
actually
complaining about it
both.
though in the game.
Paul,
What's
I
up?
was so in love with that storyline with Yort. I may post this afternoon about it. I mean,
Oh.
just yeah.
Um,
And I
uh,
do worry we're going to see a Molina Mold Mark II, but if they did do a second one of this, I have a some modifications.
what do you say? How would you fix it? What would you do?
Okay. The funguses they showed make it a something you actually remove from the surfaces. Like with tractor beams or pullers. They're already removable, from inside.
Yeah, you can pull
lives.
them out. Yeah.
But say they're in hangars. And that invites an old friend from a April Fool's video.
What the
Yes.
raptor?
The raptor.
You want to just
to
you want a
I'm
mission
gonna
that's
be a
just
demon.
cleaning?
I'm gonna be a demon here. Okay. Compared to Vertigo, who's an angel, I'm gonna be a pure demon here.
Okay. That sounds
And
like
just-
a really specific mission. An entire like event around people using raptors. You gotta
But people
clean.
would. They would.
They would if they get access to it, yeah. But
But they would have to complete 200 hangar cleanings.
just go around and clean people's hangars, raid their
Hangars.
hangars.
Oh God. I joked about. They were talking about this on Star Citizen Live, where they were like, "Oh, Elliot wanted to like make a janitorial job where you earn rewards for
I'd
cleaning
do it.
trash up." Yeah,
Do it.
I'd do it too.
I
I would. Like, you get paid like 10 credits for every piece of trash you pick up. Some people would do 0 to hero, like they would delete all their ships off their account and just have it'd spawn out the landing zones and just
I'd
start
do it.
picking up trash until they had an Aurora ER in their account, enough money.
I know Thorsten
mean,
said
no
he wanted to do
joke.
it,
They-
and
they
then, he
made-
said, then he said it was no longer prioritized. I'm like, put that shit back on the prioritization, goddammit. I will die on this
Yeah.
hill. I
They
will
locked
piss off
that
all of
thing behind
Spectrum
referrals.
specifically for this. What's that?
They locked that damn thing behind referrals. Come on.
Yeah, you'll have access to something else. I mean, they want to make it available at some point. All right, so let's wrap this up. 'Cause we've kind of talked a little bit about like the event itself, what can be like what's good, what's bad, what can be changed. What can CIG learn from this event going forward with other events in Star Citizen? I'll start with you on this one, Axis, since you're the last one to talk. What should CIG learn from the Alliance Aid? Is there anything that they could learn from it in terms of like future events?
You're asking me, so
Yes. Do you want me to skip you and come back to you?
probably not letting it drag on as long.
You want it shorter?
Probably because it seemed like the attention span after Race for Stanton was. Yeah.
There's not a lot of folks who are talking about Alliance Aid right now.
It seems so dead.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it.
Not very few people are really excited for Alliance 8. It's just filler, really.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I think that's like the big takeaway right now is the Alliance 8 event is just treated as filler. Everybody's coming in for the rewards, but no one's coming back. I mean, the missions do pay really well, but it's too bad that like there's a ton of UEC already floating around the economy,
Yeah.
so no one really cares about money at the moment,
And I
unless
think
you're new.
the advantage of that it's all community driven because so a lot of people are working together even in servers is also the detriment because it takes you a day. Well, like in an active server, it could take you a day, or with a group of like 10, it'll take you maybe a day or two.
Again, if you're going to ask me the same question, Paul, what can CIG take away? Keep the rewards the same. I don't mind the monetary split. If you want to make money, you can just do like the hauling missions by yourself because the hauling missions or the collection missions pay well above board, right? If you manage to score without having to buy the pressurized, the Bexelite, the Boras, the Laranite, if you manage to score that stuff for almost no money or like mine it, your payday is like almost double what you have got if you had just bought it or bought it from like a trade terminal, because it pays a lot more per SCU than just if you bought it and traded it for normal. Because you could trade Laranite normally, but if you do the missions, like it pays almost double of what you would do free trading. So I like how the rewards, the progress is shared between everybody in the party. I like that. Everybody gets the 250 points if one person shares a low-end combat mission and completes it by themselves. And this is something I think CIG needs to learn, or at least needs to implement. We had this with the Hunt the Polaris mission with what's her name? What was that gal's name? Leader
Gosh,
of the
I can't even remember her
the terrorist
name.
organ. Exactly.
Yeah.
Dorset?
Maybe
or something.
I don't like. She was like
He's a figurehead.
She was named at the same time as like the Hunt the Polaris like existed.
Boyd or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's another problem at CIG. Dooley.
Amelia Boyd.
No, Dooley.
Amelia Boyd.
It was
Amelia Boyd. Thank you. Matter Beast and Takobot. Dooley was she's the head of the CFP, the Civilian Defense Force. This is something we saw with Hunt the Polaris, and this is something we're seeing with this mission, is we need to have participation checks. I like the idea that we're sharing missions. I do like it. We saw this with Hunt the Polaris, what I don't like is players accepting shared missions and idling in the corners of the verse and getting progress for doing absolutely nothing. And that's something our CIG should probably look at de-emphasizing. If you want to earn the rewards, you should have to contribute, or you should have to be near the person who is completing the mission, like physically near them, within a couple thousand kilometers, in my opinion. So if you want to do Hunt the Polaris, you want to earn progress on Hunt the Polaris, you actually have to show up to the waypoint and actually just watch the fight, but you still get as long as you're within like the instance, the little bubble, you get progress when the Polaris dies or something.
Right.
But yeah, we see people like running these missions. It would encourage people to actually be in the same ship and actually help load
work together
stuff.
Yeah.
Actually work together, yeah. Because we do these missions and we have like a mega group, and everybody would share missions. And you have one guy who's doing stuff at Microtech, you have another guy who's doing stuff at Hurston, and you have people who are doing combat at ArcCorp, and you have people at Levski doing combat in another solar system entirely, and everybody's earning the same progress no matter where they are. And I think that's one thing that CIG kind of needs to learn from, is try to get people into the same orbits, right? The Hurston orbit, the ArcCorp orbit, the Microtech orbit, the Crusader, the Levski orbit. If you're in those areas, you can share missions with each other and you can earn progress. I'm okay with that, but if you're in Levski in the next system and you're sharing progress with someone who's in like ArcCorp of the Stanton system, I don't think you should be earning progress for the mission if you're sharing missions across that way, in my opinion. Feel free to argue with me if you want.
No, I agree. I think there needs to be some at least proximity for turn-ins. I like the idea that people are working together, but the idea that somebody can just sort of accept the mission and then fuck off, that's one of the problems that I think is that it was able to be completed so quickly that there's just no urgency. We
really should be encouraging players to group up and play together. Group up and play together. Group up
Yes.
and play together. Group
Not
up
just group
and
up.
play together. Yeah,
Yeah.
not just group up. That's good. That's a good first step. That's a good first step. And play together should be the next step, right?
Yeah.
The next thing the next event that CIG runs is the and we play together now, right? We're not just like we got everybody into a playground, but unfortunately they're all in different area codes and zip codes. Now we need everybody to get into the same playground, into the same sandbox, building the sandcastle, right?
I don't know what you're doing there, Axis, but you're bouncing the camera a little bit. So
Oh, sorry.
you're good.
He's probably listening to some Metallica or something. He's headbanging.
I wish.
So I'll finish this off by saying, like, I kind of agree with both of y'all. I think one of the things that CIG could be doing is stages.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you have the event takes place over stages rather than just all at once. I know people don't like the FOMO aspect, but I think you don't have to do stages for everything, but that would help, especially with these missions like this, where CIG can sort of tweak them on the fly.
Ooh. Oh, you actually bring up a really good point. One of the drawbacks of this mission. You know what I hate, Paul?
What's that?
Having to scroll through 50 missions to find the one mission I haven't done yet, right? I've done the collection missions. I've done the hauling missions. Now I'm ready to do combat. Where are my combat missions? I have to click the priority tab and I have to scroll, and then I have to read. Oh, here's a combat mission. Is this combat? No, that's not the one I want to do. Is this one? No, it's not that one.
That one.
There it is. That's the one I want to do. And I have to do that like 50 times.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a grind. It's an MMO. We have grind in our MMOs. You have to do the same mission over and over again, like 50 times, and you have to scroll to find that mission. So to do these missions in stages, you have the hauling stage for 1 week, and then that hauling stage runs into the next stage for another week. So you get 2 weeks to do
2
hauling.
weeks of stages, and then it goes away, and then you have the other stages.
Yeah. Or at least have tabs and like filters and like search functions in the mobiGlas. We need an overhaul for the mobiGlas. A lot of those apps are just ancient.
Especially the mission tabs. The mission tabs, I think they're getting updated here and there, but like, and they've added at least more categories, which has helped a little bit. But
yes, if anyone from CIG is listening, we love the categories you've added. Like that's great. It's wonderful. Having to scroll more than 20 in a single tab is kind of pushing it. 50 is just way too much.
You should have nested
search feature, please. Search feature, please.
Well, search or just nested tabs, so you can have like hauling, and then you've got the different companies you can work for, and then
just copy and just copy and paste Windows.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Windows 9000.
Yeah.
Freaking nested lists work. God damn it! It's like they work well, and you can easily find things and then scroll.
But
through them.
It's not the future. You have to have like holographics that you can see too. So if you're blind, you can't see what's in the mobiGlas. Or
then make the fucking holographic nested fucking features. It's still you can still make it look nested things look good. But in general, I think I agree that with that like that's another issue. But I will say in the future as well for changing these things up, there needs to be a more sense of urgency, and there needs to be something that the community is working towards. One of the things that I've like a failure state. There should be a failure state. There should always be a failure state in anything you're doing, because if it's just this event happens over time, people just go, what's the reward? The reward isn't worth it? Okay. And then just go do something else.
Well, they had that with the what is it, the supply for Pyro? What was that one Pyro?
The fight for Pyro?
Fight for Pyro, where you had the bad guys could win.
Yeah.
We're freedom fighters. Aha! We're actually terrorists. I can't remember what they were flying.
But they
as.
couldn't. They were never going to win. It wasn't they could win. It was just the frontier fighters turned out to be the bad guys, and now they have to fight the frontier fighters. So there's no like there was the victory for like the hunt for the Polaris missions. With
eventually the frontier fighter mission chain got up to hunt the Polaris, and they lost. You got their.
But the Hunt the Polaris mission was like, it was you got to choose the result of the Hunt the Polaris mission was a screenshot on the loading screen of an article about how Boyd was
not even a full size screenshot. It was like a newspaper blurb of like what's her name being dead. I mean,
Boyd being killed by the headhunters.
She was in. She's actually her corpse is actually in the game. I can't remember which station.
Not anymore. They removed
Oh, it's not.
because
Oh, you sons of
people kept stripping her naked, and because she was literally like on the like the
crucified on the like
crucified
wreck.
on the wreck, and they kept stripping
Yeah.
her naked, and the obviously that seam on the head, they were like, "Oh, this looks bad," you know. So,
Well,
It's kinda-
eventually the corpse is gonna rot, so I guess they could have like cleaned her skull off or something and just mounted it on a pike.
just a head, just take the head and put it on
Yeah.
the pike. It would have been taking a couple minutes.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. We don't really have good fail states other than like the mission. You go A B plot, right? You have the
Yeah.
A B story. Oh no, they failed. So we'll go to the B plot, and then we'll run that rack back around, and eventually ends up in the same place, right?
Yeah. I mean, the issue comes down to, in a game where Chris originally pitched it as your choices matter, your what you do impacts the universe, and to a degree they have done that. Like, Dave Morale is part of the lore now, and the Jump Town was part of the lore, and it's kind of affected some of the outcomes and what they were doing. They allowed players to vote for the current Imperator, so they do have some impact, but a lot of it is sort of after the fact. There's nothing like the biggest thing was the race for Stanton thing, where it's like, what was the impact? You got a 5% discount at Lorville and a tiny little gold statue on the space station. Not even anything
And
other than
they renamed the Pyro Jump Point Station, I think.
No, they didn't. They originally were going
Oh.
to, but then they didn't. They said they would.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even bother checking. I didn't care. Because I'm like, whatever the fuck, it's whatever it's named.
Like, at least that would have been some impact. Like, if they had more
Yeah.
Kirsten trimmings and stuff like that. There just wasn't. And that's the problem, is that I know they want to do it. They've clearly talked about it, and they clearly have tried to do it in the past, but there's really no impact. And I think having a situation where you can set your players and say, you can fail this, and if you fail this, there'll be consequences. Or having like actual player versus player situations, kind of like where you had the with the race for Stanton, but like people competing against each other or going head to head against each other, like in combat, and then whichever side wins, there will be consequences. So, pick a side, who wins, who loses, kind of thing.
I mean, well, consequences could be just like, oh, where's the 5% discount going to be? Is it going to be at Microtech? Is it going to be ArcCorp?
But you don't have to say the consequences right off the bat. You could just say, like, oh, the UEE versus, like, they've been teasing this idea that the UEE is going to annex Nyx, and the People's Alliance is like, no, we're going to fight you. And like, they've been teasing this idea of the People's Alliance versus the UEE as a fight, and I'm like, they won't have the balls to do it. They'll never have the balls to do that, because that would actually require players to pick a side, People's Alliance or UEE, or they would go fight against the People's Alliance, and it's like, what? But I don't want to. Then I'm just not going to do your event.
Yeah, that was like the same thing with like Amelia Boyd. Like, you would like kill her, like one of her lieutenants, or like you gank her squads and get like the thing, and she'd contact you. It's like, one, how'd you get my number?
Yeah.
Two, I don't care. Like, they're paying me to kill your boys.
Yeah.
So she tries to call you up and be like all sympathetic, like, oh, you killed that guy. What? He's just gonna respawn. Well, you guys don't have med beds in Pyro or something?
Yeah. So but there needs to be some kind of, at least some sort of consequence for things happening in the verse, because right now these events just feel
the verse feels very static. I kind of agree with that. Like, Stanton's always Stanton, Hathor's Hathor is always there.
Even if there wasn't a fail state, at least change something should change in Levski because of the Molina mold,
I would love to do Jump Town again, and then have a fail state where it just turns into a crater because we've bombed it too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just have like this crater with just a bunch of trash everywhere, and it's not there anymore because you guys ran an A2 into it with its full load of bombs. You holdo maneuvered it to death.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I would love to see an ASD facility just blown open. That way, all of its contents are everywhere except Site B, and everything's just running amok in the entire local area, and you're just hired to kill anything that moves. And who knows what's
technically we had that with the Valakar. The Valakar were like released in Stanton and as pets, and then they hitched a ride on all the ships and everywhere.
Well, they technically should be, but they're not. That would be a nice, like, that would even be a great way of introducing the Valakar, as being like, hey, there's this event now. The Valakar are everywhere.
That's what they did with Hathor. There was like a data pad you could read about how someone released. They had like two worms,
Yeah,
two
no,
little Valakar worm pets.
Banu sold them some pets, and now they're everywhere. But like,
and
we
they had
only
to get
find
rid
them
of
in
them
two
because they got too
places.
big. So they let them loose on the surface of a planet, and now that's why they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for our discussion session on Alliance Aid and the kind of the future of events like this. I want to thank to AC Vertigo and Axis. Make sure to check out Vertigo on Twitch and YouTube, especially his noob Star Citizen for Noob series. Check out
My
Axis.
YouTube shorts, very very short. So if you have ADHD like I do, they're very digestible. You can just watch the playlist and learn some things about Star Citizen, or not learn things if you already know. And you can leave a comment because the algorithm requires comments and likes. In subscriptions.
Engagement.
Even if you tell me my face looks ugly, like I still enjoy that because that's positive engagement as far as the algorithm is concerned.
Vertigo, I've seen the armor you wear. Okay.
Yeah.
Your face isn't ugly, but your choice in attire is atrocious. You are a living, walking memorial to why CIG should let us paint our ships whatever we want to, because you would paint it in the most slapdash, annoying, garish colors you could imagine, and I would love it. For those of you who know, would you call it the clown armor? Or do you still wear the clown armor?
Yeah. I still wear the clown armor.
He has an armor set that has every single piece of the armor set is a different color.
Yep. Every single piece is a different color. It was years ago I got shot in the face by one of my viewers, and I came to realize that too many armors that I like to wear in Star Citizen just make me look like a bad guy in a dark, smoky room. And I was playing with Aldo Brink the other day, like a couple months ago, and they were having trouble keeping the whatchamacallit, the party markers from disappearing. But anytime my marker disappeared, it was like, oh, that's just Vertigo.
Yeah.
We know what he looks like.
Gez in lore, he wears the Star Kitten pink racing suit everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's like no one else to wear it. So it's like, well, if we see that, I'm like, that's definitely not one of the enemies. It's definitely Gez. So and of course, check out Axis0096 on Twitch, YouTube, and all of the other locations. You stream mostly, right? You don't do a lot of video content?
Right.
Yeah. So check them out there. If you did enjoy this, you're good. If you did enjoy this, please do hit that follow button if you're on Twitch. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like the video if you're watching this after the fact. And comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts on your experience with Alliance Aid and any changes you would like to make. I do read all the comments. I do try to read all the comments. I may not respond to everything, but I do try to read them. Again, check us out on podcast formats on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the other places you can find quality podcasts, and leave comments. Thank you again for watching. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.